In this video, I'll be doing an overview of a Level 1 infuser. This machine is used to deliver a large volume of fluids as quickly as possible. There are 5 locations on the Level 1 that govern how the device is controlled and where function indicators are displayed. Here, you'll observe the fluid warmer display panel. You can see the recirculating solution temperature, which is not the temperature of the fluid delivered to the patient. The display merely reflects the temperature of the circulating solution that's warming the solution you are running through the machine. Hopefully that's not too confusing. Next, you can see the automatic operation LED. This green LED indicator illuminates when the power of the machine is on and the disposable set has been properly installed. So when this is lit, this is indicating the fluid warmer is operating. Next, you can see the check disposables LED. This yellow LED indicator will illuminate and beep when the disposable set is not properly installed. Next, you can see the Add Recirculating Solution LED. This yellow LED will indicate and illuminate with an audible beep when the reservoir is too low. Lastly, you can see here the Over Temperature LED. This red LED will illuminate and signal with an audible beep when the recirculating solution is over the acceptable temperature for safe use. The next location to observe is the Power and Alarm Test panel. Here, you will find the Power On button, which is the green button on the top left of the Power and Alarm Test panel. Just to the right here, you will see the Power Off orange button. This button turns the power off to the unit. Just below this is the Over Temperature Test button. The Over Temperature Test button is used to confirm the proper operation of the over temperature circuitry. Just to the left of this is the Fluid Warmer Alarm Signal Test button. The Fluid Warmer Alarm Signal Test button is used to confirm the proper operation of the visual and audible alarm indicators. Press and hold this button to test the circuitry, then release the button. The over temperature alarm continues to function. Clear the alarm mode by turning the device off and then back on. Lastly, in this location, you'll observe the reservoir capacity limit. The capacity for recirculating solution is 1.4 liters. Do not exceed the maximum capacity. The third location is the reservoir level display. The reservoir level display has a clear window for viewing the amount of recirculating solution present in the reservoir. Check the reservoir to ensure the solution level is near the maximum level indicator. If the recirculating solution level is too low, the Add Recirculating Solution LED on the display panel illuminates and an audible attention signal will beep. The fourth location is the Air Detector Clamp Control Panel and Alarms. The Air Detector Clamp Control Panel and Alarms has 3 LED indicators that display the operational state of the air detector clamp. The first is the Automatic Operation LED. The green Automatic Operation LED will illuminate when the following conditions are present. The fluid warmer is powered on, a disposable set is properly installed in the fluid warmer and primed, the patient line from the gas vent filter assembly is correctly placed in the number 3 clamp slot, and the clamp slot door is closed. Next, you can see the check tubing LED. The yellow check tubing LED illuminates and an audible attention signal beeps when the patient line tubing from the gas vent filter assembly is not correctly placed in the number 3 clamp slot, and when the clamp slot door is also not closed correctly. Lastly on this panel, you'll see the clamped LED. The red clamped LED illuminates and an audible warning signal beeps when air is detected in the gas vent filter assembly. This will lead to the patient's line being automatically clamped. And our fifth location is the Pressure Chamber Control Panel. The Pressure Chamber Control Panel uses a control lever to switch from pressurized to unpressurized mode. A gauge displays pressure levels in the pressure chamber. Here, you will see a lever in the unpressurized position. Notice the PSI is non-existent. To pressurize the chamber, ensure the pressure chamber door is closed and latched. Then, slide the lever to the left, all the way to the plus pressurized position. This will apply 300 millimeters of mercury pressure in the pressure chamber when the fluid warmer is turned on. To unpressurize the chamber, slide the lever to the right, all the way to the minus unpressurized position. Pressure will then be released on the fluid bag in the pressure chamber. Notice the pressure gauge, which indicates the pressure present in the pressure chamber. When the pressure level is in the plus pressurized position and the fluid warmer is on, this gauge displays the operating pressure in the pressure chamber. The operating pressure should be 300 millimeters of mercury. On the top of the machine, you'll be able to observe the 2 pressurized chambers that will be used to quickly deliver fluid to the patient. The level 1 will push the infusion past a heat exchanger to warm the fluids up to an ideal temperature of around 41 degrees Celsius. This is done to prevent the fluids from dropping the patient's temperature. Next, the fluids will pass by a gas vent and particle filter before finally passing through an air detection monitor, where a clamp is located just beyond it as the last means of stopping the flow. On the physical machine, you will observe the numbers 1 through 4, which will indicate the steps in installing a new line. After removing your line from the packaging, ensure that all connections are tight and clamps are shut. Now, observe the location of step 1. Insert the heating condenser here. Next, observe where step 2 is located. Snap the heating condenser in place by pushing it into the holder, then firmly pulling down on the tab located under the number 2. Next, observe where step 3 is located. Place the tubing through the air detector clamp and then close the door. Lastly, at step 4, you will snap the air filter into the slot. Next, you will set up your IV bags and prime the associated line. Begin priming your bags by removing any air in the bag if applicable. Spike the bag and hang in the infuser box. Open the clamp proximal to the bag and fill drip chamber halfway. Note, if you fill the drip chamber too much, you will be unable to effectively assess the flow. Next, work your way down the line, opening clamps until you get to the roller clamp at the end, where opening will complete the priming process for bag 1. After this, ready your second IV bag by removing any air if applicable, and with bag 1's tubing clamped, prime bag 2's line until it reaches the drip chamber and clamp. Ensure to close both doors. This will complete the setup process. Starting your infusion. Ensure level 1 doors are closed. For only one chamber at a time, move the switch from negative to positive above the bag to be infused. You should observe the PSI indicator approaching 300. With the line not attached to the patient, check your flow. If appropriate, attach it to the patient and then begin your infusion. When the first bag is done infusing, clamp it off and move the pressure switch to the off position. Then, turn on the pressure switch to bag 2 and unclamp it. While bag 2 is infusing, prepare bag 3 and switch out with the completed bag 1. Note, at a minimum, there needs to be one RN whose sole focus is the maintenance and working of this machine. Common errors that occur with this machine are often the snapping into place of the IV tubing into the machine. Ensure that all connections are secure and that all components of the tubing are firmly pressed into place.